yet. I haven't actually set up everything yet. Get started. Okay, this is a bit of a bodge job. Hearts of Iron is a real pain to set up, and I haven't actually set everything up yet, so bear with me. The loading screen should be loading. The Hearts of Iron, that one. I don't even know what is it? We called it change of pace, didn't we? Hearts of Iron IV. I can just use the same one as normal, and I think we're good to go. I'm just going to wait for the loading screen to finish loading, then I can actually get into the game. So, hello everyone, I'm Iron Phoenix, and welcome back to, and I hope this is working, Hearts of Iron 4. 4? IV, yeah, 4. Roman numerals are weird. So we'll be continuing from last week's map, in which case I'll have to actually remember what I did last week. Last week was a long time ago. Right, so hopefully now, right, that's now all should be working. Good God, this has actually gone smoothly for once. It never normally goes smoothly. Right, I shouldn't have said that. Right, let's continue a game. So it was on Veteran Iron Man Britain, basically, and the year is 1930. Actually, it's like something like 1939, I think. So the war is heating up, and I've already started invading places, from what I remember. Or have I? I can't remember. Okay, so the year is 1938, and I am plotting some invasions to start attacking, because I think it's best to attack Germany as soon as you can. So, yeah, we're going to do that. So I've got a unit there. Right, just quickly need to go through. So we're doing the Burma Road, which will get us far more sort of opinion with China and Yunnan, which I don't know where Yunnan is. Hold on, let me just quickly check the map. I might be able to work it out. There's an awful lot of countries on this map that don't really exist so much anymore. So, you know, for example, you have the People's Republic of China, and then you have China, and now you've just got China, or People's Republic of China, of course. Tibet, which is, yeah, well, let's just not mention Tibet. So Yunnan, I don't know where Yunnan is. Asia of some description, I would assume. But more than that, I'm not completely certain. So anyway, we're going to get that. But Japan will hate us as a result. And then research, we've got some industry stuff going. Okay, I think we're all headed up now. So that one, we're trying to get naval superiority up in the North Sea. So we should have a unit going up here to patrol in that area. And I've got some free dockyards which I know about. I just don't. Oh, actually, I might have the production. I've got 22 oil sitting there. Oh, I'm not building any ships at all. We need to start building ships. What would be a good idea? I think a battleship might be a good idea, actually. Building one in 9 years. Maybe let's build one in 2 years. A year? Could I get it down to a year, potentially? I could. Yeah, let's build one in a year. And let's also get, I don't know, something reasonably small, cheap, a destroyer. Let's get a destroyer up. Could I get another one? Yes. So I can get two in a year, and the battleship in a year. Okay. Unassigned divisions. Don't need to worry about that. I've got some air wings. Oh, a gladiator. I'll get the gladiator out. And then that's just to say that we are at war. Excellent. Okay, so we're all good now. We've got to just get this research done. I'm going to say, so Yugoslavia, which is now, isn't that the one where you got Slovakia and no, that was all these countries. Isn't that Croatia and Bosnia now? I don't know. Yeah, just going to keep them neutral. So they're basically just not at war with us. So, naval-wise, those ships are generally causing problems, I would hope. But we need to get more air superiority over there to support the ships. So, let's see what we've got. I've got gladiators, but they don't have a huge range. What about up here? Again, we've got a problem with range here. These... Oh, the swordfish. I might actually have... Naval strike. It's not going to be great, but we might be able to help out a little bit in that region with the swordfish. Other than that, I could send in some strategic bombing or port strike. Let's try some strategic bombing in northwest Germany, because then I can hit all of the way along there. And go. Really do need better or longer range stuff is happening. Yeah, I can do that. And yeah, okay then. Lend leases. Yeah, I need to get sort of better planes. So right, Czechoslovakia has capitulated. They've given up, which means that Czechoslovakia is now part of the German Reich. Unfortunately, Poland will probably be next. Then Germany's drive here is to basically get Europe. So they have a nice front along there, and then eventually they'll decide that attacking the bear is a really good idea. Yeah. And the crazy thing is that it almost worked. But yes, so they want France really, and is that right? It's going to take them 49 days to get over there. Okay, let's get these guys down there and the horses. And have I got right? Okay, so got motorized divisions going out, and I've got I could get some. Let's train some paratroopers up in London. Wait, what? Location into London. Yeah, it's a couple of units of paratroopers, and we'll start pumping those out. And we've lost a lot of. We've got the manpower, but we've suddenly lost a load of political power from somewhere. But we're getting it back again. We just won't be able to do anything for a little while. Right, we've got research dispersed industry 2. So 1939, so we were still in 1938, which I need to get that one done. Boost research a little, and the start of our hypothetical ships are about to roll out. Well, I say roll out, they're going to become available to craft. So is it 1936? Ark Royal's being done. 1940 is landing craft. So naval stuff is pretty much done apart from the Ark Royal. I would, yeah, we need to start getting Wellingtons up. Get better aircraft, because World War II, the naval battles were something that sort of generally happened. Missing equipment production in what? A naval bomber. I don't have a naval. Would not have a naval bomber. Need to start pumping out swordfishes. Right. Okay. Fine. Yeah, the naval battles were important in that they kept the waters open for invasion purposes. The air was far more important because the ships could only really do, you know, bombing on the coasts and that. The planes did an awful lot of damage to everything, quite frankly. Accuracy was not great back then at all. And it was to the point where if you wanted perfect accuracy, you had to go in as low as possible. And there are stories of planes coming in so low that they were passing underneath power lines, to the point where you could put your hand out underneath a plane and touch the ground. That's how low that some of them would actually be flying to get these sort of precision strikes. Don't have that these days, and even by the end of World War II, you've got far more precision weaponry, bigger bombs that are designed to just fall. Ultimately, you know, you would just drop it nose down, and they would just fall. And yeah, bonus to right. Okay, let me just quickly. Right, we need Military Training Act. The world is pretty much at war. Yes, the world is at war at this point, mostly by the German Reich. And we need gas masks to get rid of the manpower debuff. Yeah, okay. So yeah, you have things like the Tallboy bomb. We had, you know, on our side an inventor by the name of Barnes Wallis. Now Barnes Wallis worked with aircraft, and his work resulted in aircraft that could be built out of common materials but be extremely strong. He used a sort of a lattice design. So you would have aircraft landing on the airfields minus major parts of the bodywork, and they were still able to be flown. So we've got a free factory. Let's pump up Matilda production, so we're doing one a day. Yeah, so Barnes Wallis invented quite a few things actually. He did an awful lot of work with, I believe he did an awful lot of work with Mosquito. No, that was de Havilland. Actually, I just need to check this. Barnes Wallis. Yeah, he invented the bouncing bomb. He invented the geodesic airframe and the earthquake bomb. And he designed a lot of stuff for Vickers. So Wellingtons that had the geodesic airframe, and there's a photo of this on the Wikipedia article. of this Wellington bomber with fairly large chunks of its tail missing, and it's still flyable. It landed. He also wanted to build a Victory bomber with his first super large bomb design coming out at 10 tons of bomb. And yeah, he developed the bouncing bomb and the Grand Slam bombs. Yeah, it was de Havilland that. So he worked for a company called Vickers, who made planes, and they also made weapons. They were weapons manufacturer. Then you have people like de Havilland, who created the Mosquito and constantly upgraded it to the point where it was being used for an awful lot of. It was probably one of the more successful multi-role aircraft back then, and there hasn't really been a plane since that got dropped into so many different roles, and half of it was just by accident. It was designed as an unarmed bomber, wooden construction, and yeah, just sort of dropped into all these different roles, and it carried Grand Slam bombs. I think actually no, it carried Tall Boys. I think the Grand Slam's the bigger version of it. Let's build. Got all these military factories now coming online. I'll soon be able to actually do something with political power again. Oh, that's my factories thing. Oh, actually, that's a good point. My invasion force should be ready by now. Go. Go, 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 go. While we still can. So that's 6 units of infantry, sorry, 6 divisions of infantry and a division of tanks as well. Their goal is quite simply to gain a beachhead, and we'll work from there. Hopefully putting more units, more divisions onto the beachhead, and then sort of attempt to break out. I don't think it's going to work, but I won't know unless I try, really. And I could potentially deploy paratroopers if I actually had the planes for it, and I don't think I've actually started making transport planes. No, I have not. Okay, right, let's drop that one down, the interwar bomber, because I'm going to be replacing that with the Wellington soon anyway. And let's start pumping out transport planes to a year. Okay, I can, for the moment, I can deal with that. It's not great. I am going to need paratroopers soon, and I've got a little bit of an upgrade to my convoys, so I can protect my convoys a little better now. I think I might go down the destroyer tree for a little while. The destroyers seem to be rather useful back then, because obviously you want to be able to detect the submarines that are sneaking around. Ooh, right, finally we get rid of that, and we beef our manpower up by getting rid of that damn debuff. And right, so I don't know what to do for my next. I could do the hold Hong Kong, but right now I think we need to get more yeah, we need to do that one. We do need to get the cryptological bomb done. done, which I think is more of oh god, we've lost France. Right. Number 2, we are going to do a naval invasion order into from there to there. We need naval superiority. Why do we not have naval superiority? Let's use my destroyer fleet to do a patrol. There. So now they will start setting up for that invasion. That invasion is going on, and I suspect that one's going to fail. That one might actually succeed though, the one into Normandy. And I might also stick one down into Brest as well from southern England. And get those set up. Probably don't have the military capability to do another. Plan a third invasion, I should say. It's basically a battle for the English Channel right now. Do we have... Belgium's capitulated. Let's get air superiority over there using God knows what. They gladiate? Yeah, gladiators. Right now we are scraping the bottom of the barrel. You know, just throw the gladiators out. They're cancelling lend leases. I'm trying to get research done. And build units. In fact, yeah, that's a good point. We can theoretically. So we're actually lagging behind with the Austins. I'm actually going to deploy those lines. They're not going to do quite as well, but I'm going to need almost like a home guard. They can be my home guard for now. As almost romanticised, I guess, in Dad's Army. The idea of so the idea of the home guard was a fighting force to be trained in England. They would never go to war. They would be there for if England was invaded. And they were pretty much propaganda, to be fair. There were a couple of different types of home guard. There was sort of the more general home guard, which were literally, they were under-equipped. They didn't really have... right, let me just get some gladiators up in the air. Inspection. Those are those. Those are doing strategic bombing. Okay. What do we have here? We've got some Gloucester gladiators. Interception, air superiority. And there. I just need to get planes in the air right now, because I am losing air superiority over England, and I need to get that back. So yeah, the home guard were, you know, the normal home guard, people who were not eligible for combat for some reason. They might have been too old, too young, or have some kind of illness that means that they were not able to fight. And as a result, they would be given sort of daytime war work, as well as some kind of training in arms or guerrilla warfare or something along those lines. And then you also had a second layer of the idea of the home guard, which were trained guerrilla fighters who were going to be there in case of invasion, and they would be the ones who would pretty much almost wait for occupation and then sort of almost be like a shadow sort of clandestine unit. And they had secret bunkers that were usually dug in. They would go out into the woods and build their command post that would usually be, we're digging. So from the air, it would just, and from the people around, it would just look like they were digging in, artillery positions or anti-aircraft sites, but actually they were building secret bunkers to put weapons and maps and all that sort of thing that they would need for occupation. I'm hoping that's back. We're back, I think. Right. Yes, old bridges. So old bridges from about, I don't know, sort of Napoleonic Wars. So we're going back quite a way here, pre-World War One. But an awful lot of Britain's defences, because obviously it used to be invaded quite a lot by... Oh, for goodness sake. It's continuing. There's an awful lot of defences that are designed to... go away. Defend against an invading force. And so old bridges will have these alcoves, and it looks very sort of architectural and very fancy. They are actually there so that you can put barrels of gunpowder inside, so that if you are invaded, you can very easily blow a bridge up. And Britain got swarmed with these little defences here and there, protecting railways and factories and all sorts in World War Two. Little things, pillboxes. You don't necessarily think too much of it these days, but there's an awful lot of fortifications when you start to sort of look a little bit deeper at Britain that are still dotted around. There's one, the remains of the old airfield that's not far from where I am right now. All that's there is a single pillbox, a sort of a bunker entrance, and that would have been protections for the airfield. Right, we've just lost Poland. We've got a fight going on. Oh, is Italy? Oh, Canada and South Africa, and they're basically all going to be wiped out. However, so they... going to do a much larger force to push down here. Oh god, Italy have invaded. God, I didn't even notice that. On two fronts. Right, okay. We need more. We need forts. Oh lord, we don't actually have any forts built. A smattering of forts and some sea forts as well. I don't need support equipment. I don't even need weapons so much anymore. I need the K5s to be finished, really. Pumping out one a day. Yeah, I'm gonna have 3 military facilities. Right, we just need to get our country back. Get Bristol back. Get those down there, down into Norwich. $1939, which means we can get our next level of construction, I think. Right, that should get them off. That pretty much just pushed Italy back off our island. And we've got Wellington. Excellent. Now we can actually upgrade our bombers. Get the Blenheim up next. We've got outdated equipment because the interwar bomber is still being made. And yeah. Okay. That should push them off. Yep. Oh, God. Quite a lot of just different messages. Yeah. Finland rejects Soviet demands. Of course, this is when the Red Army decides that it wants to invade Finland. Sorry. And it doesn't go particularly well for them, but Finland is kind of forced at that point to pick a side, and they pick, because they've got no other choice, they do pick Nazi Germany, and yeah, and to this day, for some reason, they've still got sanctions on what they can and can't own military-wise, and it's a little bit ridiculous, really. They're forced into. Can I get into? Yeah, I can sail in and give them a hand. Maybe not. Can I sail into there? Possibly. No, not anymore. We left it too long. Okay. I'm okay. Let's get these guys out. And then I want to get rid of them and switch over to infantry. Down into Sussex. Let's actually get some proper infantry trained. We really need to start pumping out infantry, and we also need to start pumping out tanks if we can. A couple of divisions of tanks would be useful. And they've got the vehicles to do it, I think. Yeah, they've got the vehicles to do it, they just need to be trained. As for these are under equipped because they need the Austins. Can I make some more Austins? That would be really useful if I can just sort of juggle some things around. If I drop those down, drop those down, drop those down. Oh, that just requires chromium, so I may as well just beef those up. And beef those up. Actually, no, let's beef up transport planes. So you can get out 6 a year instead of just the 1. and that should be alright for now. Quite a lot of steel. I don't think there's anything else. They're going to be pumping out 2 a day, which is better than what we were, but I think some more K5s would be a good idea. Though, I mean, the plan would be to replace that with Bren gun carriers. It's eventually during the war you have something called the Bren gun carrier, which is it's kind of like a tracked armoured car, and these things ended up being called the universal carriers because they were like flamethrower variants of it, and mortar variants, and rocket launcher variants, and all sorts of things. And eventually, actually, the Germans got their hands on some as well, and so they converted those into anti-tank vehicles. Very, very interesting piece of British technology that, again, it got used for all kinds of things as a result. And part of the reason why it was so popular is that it drove like a car did. And so it was very easy to learn how to drive them. Let's just tweak my production of stuff. Do that. Because I think something affected my oil. But that should have sped up research a little. So yeah, so it's still tracked. This universal carrier, it was still a tracked vehicle. It's just that in order to turn, it sort of pushed one side of the track out. It warped the track, and so it drove, with a steering wheel, very much like a car. And yeah, some things that are easy to learn end up being very popular. It's something like this, the Spitfire. It was a sort of fighter plane that it knew what you were trying to do, and so there were no barriers to just doing what you needed to do with the Spitfire, because in most circumstances it would just be able to do what you wanted it to do. I'm going to spend some air experience on getting up some. I'm going to beef up my Hurricane variant. So the way you do this, you just create a variant and you add some points in. Beef up the range if I can, probably more than reliability. Drop the weapons down, save that, and then I want to make that specific variant the Mark 1. So that's how you use your Navy and air experience by you basically create a variant of it and produce from there. And these then have better statistics in some way. Right, okay, so this one, go. So what we're trying to do here is create a beachhead so that we can then start sending units onto that beachhead and then attempt to break out. It might work, I'm hoping it does. And we are also getting up things like the interwar artillery and all that. Which is going to be assistance. Okay. Can I control click? Oh god. Control. Oh, because it's So in 1940 I'm going to be able to beef up my invasion capacity. Ooh, I've got some motorised divisions up. Excellent. We're starting to get some, well, just better army, basically, at this point. Get them trained, get them out of the door. Get them upgraded wherever we possibly can. Which, yeah. So we've now got that one. I'm going to quickly check so we can get the improved infantry equipment, which is probably a good idea. And we can also modify our infantry a little. So we're going up against infantry mostly at this point. I could just stick in another unit of infantry. A couple of units. Yeah, let's do that. The division's going to be bigger. It's going to need more manpower to replenish it. But I think it's probably for the best. Oh, and I've got a load of free civilian factories. Get a synthetic factory, a couple of civilians, and a couple of military, as well as some infrastructure. And I probably should do some land doctrine. And oh, I can modify my government. Right. Material design, and what could I do there? Then that would be really useful. Let's do that. So I've got a military theorist with army experience gain of plus 0.5 daily, and a boost to land doctrine research time as well. So that would be useful for getting those land doctrines done to make my units more efficient. Because infantry is quite key. Still, even now. Infantry is really important when you're dealing with warfare. And you know, these people saying, well, drones are going to be the next, you know, people who basically want to replace humans with drones, it just doesn't work, because so many times when you send a drone in, you need to have the eyes on the ground to basically say yay or nay. And it's almost madness to think that there are drone attacks going on at the moment without sort of that human eye basically directing it. It's like using an airstrike without a human on the ground to say, actually, you know, what you're attacking here is a school rather than a military outpost. You know, and especially where you've got a military outpost that's actually in a clump between civilian buildings. What you want to do is take out the military target and leave the civilian buildings untouched. And the only way you do that is by having extremely accurate weaponry, but also having the observers on the ground able to specifically target. And you know, there's an awful lot of drive towards actually removing the human element, which I think is quite just madness, really, to do that. Right. Okay. I probably should do maybe that would add more military capacity. Right, that one is too big, basically. Can I chop this down? So if we're doing that one, I just move them over here. That would work actually. So I could do send those guys into there, and send these guys over to there, and get those guys added in there. So it's a unit of 9 and unit of And then we do a naval invasion order from there into, I don't know, there. And then here we do a naval invasion from, oh, I can only create a single invasion order. What I wanted to do was 2, basically. Okay, 1 we can deal with. We can deal with 1. Oh, wait, can I do a... I do from no could I do a right, so those are going to be moving over there. Control click. Oh, no. Those are doing that one, so this one would be that one. Okay. I can't do that because my naval capacity is... It's not per invasion, it's for the entirety of the invasionary force. So let's also give them a field commander. Right, so they're good to go basically at this point. Let's see what the time is. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, oh yeah. So Friday I will be Portal 2. Switching back over there. So change of pace will be once a week, and then Portal 2 will be the rest of the time until that one's done. And I don't know what's coming after that. I did say Unreal, but Unreal is too old to be captured by OBS, so I've got some problems there. I might be able to work out something to get around it, or I might play Unreal 2, which is actually quite a fun game anyway. A little bit different because it's kind of got more of a story in that, but got some fun weapons and the like in it. But we'll see. What do you mean there are no units assigned to this order? Right, control click. No. Something you can do, but it does damage your organisation. Though there was a bit of a thing of units just of making their own way places. It was right. Okay. Artillery should probably be my next of big focus. 25-pounder gun, or actually, yeah. Considering we are preparing to do invasions, maybe that would be a good idea. might be an idea to get... Yeah, so we've got some fighters that should probably be got up into the air. So yeah, we want to do interception over France as much as we possibly can. Yay, got the next level of radar. And probably should just keep on beefing up my radar. And what have I got? What else have I got? Am I still making Why am I still making gladiators, hold on? Am I still making gladiators? No, I'm making hurricanes. Now doing the upgrades. Yeah, it's odd. Right. Losing air superiority all over the place right now. Got some Gloucester gladiators here. Let's do that. Let's bring them back in and put them on air superiority. Why is this being an utter pain? Let's do that one. Let's do the Tsar mission. Right. Oh, they're invading. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Bristol Blenheim's done. So Halifax, which will be our strategic bomber for 1939. I'm hoping that gets that beachhead, but I don't know. Problem is that the colonial units are well, they're all right, I guess. I need that beachhead. Though it is a little early for me to be working on getting beachheads, because I just don't have the held as usual. I don't really have the clout at the moment to really field a massive force on multiple fronts. It's very much, yeah. So we've now lost that one. It's alright, because we can start setting up another one. I would like to start setting up another one, but unfortunately. Oh God, how do I? So control, click, I can. Oh, that one might actually work, especially as we're invading with tanks. Now, extraordinarily dug in though, considering that we're throwing massive amounts of, well, I say, 4 divisions of units against 1. Okay. 1939 we get our Sten gun, which certainly will help the units quite a bit. So the Sten gun was, well, you can see there, it's a submachine gun with a very sort of long magazine on the bottom of it. Quite a favourite really for your automatic, just a sort of a compact automatic weapon that could be used with paratroopers or whatever. The assault rifle still isn't really a thing. Certainly Germans are starting to use assault rifles in World War II, but for much of the war Britain's using single shot rifles or things like the Sten gun, which are far more specialised, or if they want something heavier, they've got things like the Bren gun, which commandos used to fire them from the hip instead of using an assault rifle, which is what the Germans would do. They would use a Bren gun, which is it's a machine gun. It's a light machine gun. Yeah, but commandos were nuts. Not quite the the sort of, I guess, the vision of what we would expect commandos to be. Commandos are not meant to be sort of burly men, following orders and all that. They were actually, so the SAS are meant to be sort of far more regimented. They are far more. They're still a special forces unit, but they are far more to do with. Is that they're far more regimented, basically. It's far more towards sort of army standards. The commandos are the special forces units that there's far less, I guess, cohesion. They are designed to be lone wolves, ultimately, to be able to succeed goals with a group or on their own. And so the training regime is far more flexible. So instead of, say, in the army, the training regime might be parade on the square in just outside the town that you bout in. The commandos might be told, well, yeah, parade in the square about 50 miles away, make your own way there, sort of thing. So very, very different sort of styles, I guess. Might get that guy just because I want to get, or aircraft designer might be quite useful because it would give me a boost to the air research time, which I'm going to need because I've got a lot to do, and I think getting Supermarine, who created the Spitfire, of course. So yeah, commandos used to, they were, I believe they were one of the first units to use live fire in their training schemes. As infantry, anyway. I heard of some tank regiments using live fire to train their drivers with. The other thing about the commandos was that the officers were that it was almost mandatory that they join in with the training. So you can do everything an officer can do if the officers can do it, of course. So yeah, everybody was basically expected to muck in, which is not quite what you would expect from the military, especially of those days. which is why they had so much resistance from the military to let their best and brightest go into the commandos. And Churchill had to push very, very hard to get units and get funding and just in general get equipment from the military. So when where is it? Saint Nazaire, wherever it is, down here somewhere, I think. It's down in sort of South France somewhere. I can't remember if it's that estuary or this one, but yeah, it's Tours. It goes down into Vichy. Yes, one of these two. So when the commandos wanted to do a raid into France, about a mile up an estuary, heavily fortified, they had to really, really push just to get a clapped out World War I destroyer, American destroyer at that, and then sort of convert it to vaguely look like a German destroyer and then sail it up this German held estuary. So yes, right, okay, it's almost coming up to, it's come up to the hour now, so I will stop in a moment. I just want to see if I can get some, maybe another invasion going. Probably not. Oh no, stop details, so I can just do that. Right, okay, I think I'm going to stop here now. Probably be a good idea to do that one next. So with that, I will say thank you very much for watching and hanging on through the various little technical difficulties, and I will see you next time.